welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I thought I would share with you guys a little tour of my Notion. I've honestly changed it a lot over the past couple of years, just whether that's because my subjects are now quite different or just finding little things that worked for me and didn't work for me. So it's changed a lot over the past couple of years, but I'll share all of that with you. But basically, if you did not know what Notion is, I would say it's sort of like an all-in-one app. So you can use it for like note-taking, for planning things, planning trips, planning meal plans. They have so many different templates as well. This is not sponsored, by the way, but yeah, they have like a lot of templates that are already there and you can kind of customize it to whatever suits you. And yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into it. First of all, the way I use Notion is probably a little bit different to how other people use their Notion, just because I prefer like physical planners. So I usually use Notion kind of as like a place where I dump all my ideas and everything, and then when that becomes like a plan or something I do, that's when I write it in my diary, because otherwise it gets really messy and like sometimes plans change. So I like the flexibility of using like the digital format to be able to move things around and delete things if something is not happening anymore, or add things, and yeah, it's just a lot more of a flexible format. So when you go into my Notion, this is the page that you see. This is my dashboard, and I found in the past that I had a lot of things on there that I never used. So for example, I would have like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then a list of to-do things. And I just find that because I prefer to plan in my physical planner, I don't really ever use them. And so they kind of just sit there, but they never get used. So I ended up deleting all of that. And then I also found that it was really helpful for me to just have all my subjects and things on the dashboard. So I just go to this one page. I kind of like having everything on the one page and then being able to like choose the things that I want. Like I can see it overall, because I feel like that really helps me yeah, visualize everything a lot better rather than having it all in separate little places but organized. I just find that having it all on the one page, I can see everything all at once, and yeah, it just helps me with visualizing everything. So I have kind of separated into a couple categories. There's uni, personal, there's study latte, finances, and recipes. And down here I just have a calendar of everything, and it's usually for like content planning things, because I use like my actual diary for assignment due dates and things like that, and also a very big uni planner, which I love. And then on the side, of course, we have Taylor Swift playlist. And yeah, so I'll take you guys through to, let's start with recipes, I guess, because I actually really like this page. I always find that I'm making the same thing over and over and over again. So I kind of just put this in here to kind of inspire me and make sure that I know that there's more options than just whatever I usually cook. So this is just the list that I have so far. So you can kind of see like the ones that I've made so far is this and this one, and you can kind of see that they all kind of look the same. So I want to make sure that I'm trying new things out. Like salmon toast sounds so good, so one day for lunch, like I might make that, or pancakes. I would love to make pancakes for breakfast. Maybe not every day, but definitely some days for a special treat. And then if I click into it, oh, this one doesn't have it yet. I think it works for the ones that I have. No, this one either. Okay, maybe I haven't added the recipes in yet. I thought I did do this. Oh, so this is one of them, but it's very basic. But yeah, basically my plan is that I have the photo and then I'll have the recipe underneath with all the ingredients and everything that I need, so that when I want to make this and I meal plan for the week, I can look at it and be like, okay, these are the ingredients that I need to buy, and then I can go to the grocery store and just get the amount that I need. Yeah, so that's my plan. I don't think I've actually done a lot of them. I think that's the only one that I've done so far. But yeah, we will make progress on this one. Also mushroom toast, like I have been making mushroom toast for breakfast with an egg every morning. Actually, looking at that poached egg looks really good, so I might try poached egg next time. But I've made this a couple times and it just is so good, and it just makes me so excited to have breakfast and like wake up in the morning. So yeah, this has definitely been a page that I definitely want to build upon. Also, yes, also this Biscoff lava cake was so good. Like, I did not really like chocolate for a very long time, and this Biscoff lava cake changed my whole perspective of chocolate, and it was just so good, and I would have it every day of the week. And also the matcha lava cake at Kalia, which got me liking chocolate in the beginning, maybe because it had matcha in it in the very beginning, so that's why I started liking chocolate. We'll move on to the meal plan section because I feel like that kind of goes into the same thing, but this is basically where I plan out all my meals, and so far it is blank because I haven't planned out this week yet. But what I can do is sort of look at the recipe ideas that I already have and then plan out everything. This way when I get home, like, I don't have to think about what am I making for lunch or what am I making for dinner. I can just look at this and it kind of takes all of the time that it usually takes for me to decide on what to eat out of it. So that just helps me save a lot of time throughout the week, and if I need a meal plan anything, I'll put it in as well. So that just helps me keep organized and make sure that I have enough groceries for the things I need, and also not waste any of the food that I buy. So yeah. The one that you guys are probably here for is how I organize my uni things. So actually a lot of the subjects that I take don't have a lot of note taking in it, so I don't usually use Notion a lot, but I did use it quite a bit in first year. So what I do is I kind of separate it into the years. So I have year 1, year 2, year 3 so far, and then I'll go into it. This is the first semester that I took, and I took a marketing class. So this is what I had for all of that, and like if we just go into it, I'll have a section with definitions because I always find that really helpful. Kind of all my pages are kind of like quite simple because yeah, like I love the pages that you have countdowns and like to-do lists and images and like moving things, and I love that. But I just found that it didn't really work for me because I would get distracted by them or I just wouldn't use them. So I kind of made it super simple. I have the definition section usually at the top so I can just kind of see everything. And then yeah, throughout exams, like what you can also do is make it into a toggle list. So I'm just gonna copy and paste this because I think that's the fastest way. And what you can do is have it like this. So come exam time, it kind of functions as like flashcards. So instead of you having the answer directly underneath, you can make all of them kind of closed, and then you can answer the question without looking at the answer, and then afterwards you can click out and see whether your answer kind of matches up, which I think is really helpful. So that's one option, and then I kind of just have it all like one underneath each other, and then I'll go on to the next week and do the same thing for that. At the very end, I'll usually have like exam questions or exam stuff. So that is usually like what I take from the practice papers or anything that I feel like I'm having a challenging time with. And then I'll put that all in the exam questions to kind of just make sure that I cover off everything. And yeah, like law was another one that I tried out a different kind of note-taking style for. So I had weeks 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way down, and then the date that it was, so it just makes it a lot easier for me when I see it. And then the topics that were going to be covered, I find that really helpful just at the beginning of every semester, having that list. Not every subject does that, like some kind of update it as the semester goes on, but if it is out in the beginning of the semester, I just find for note-taking subjects, it's really helpful just to see all the topics that you're going to cover. And then on the side, I just had anything that was like assignments related, for example, tests or exams or things like that. I'll put in this column just so I know. And basically what I did was I just had all the notes here lined up. So I had lectures, so that would be notes that I took in the lecture, and then this is what it sort of looks like. And then I would have, I would have stuff from the readings, which towards the end of the semester definitely started disappearing. And every week we also had a case study to do as well. So I would answer the case study questions and things in that section. But that's sort of what I did for really content heavy subjects, and I found that that worked really well for me, just because, again, it's the kind of idea of being able to see everything at once and being able to visualize everything, but also having them all separated so it doesn't feel as overwhelming. I think the big thing for me is just keeping a very, very clean interface, because as soon as there's a lot of things on the page, I start to get a little bit overwhelmed. So I like to keep things as simple as possible, but also communicating all the information that I need to see. So in year 2, you can definitely see that a lot of things started to change. So this is actually a pretty good example of a page that I had, and I just never used it. Like, it worked really well up until the point that it just did not work very well. So I had like my assignments in the beginning, like it's so big and it filled up the whole page because I was like, I need to make sure that I know what my assignments are. But then I realized I just never really used this part at all. So I originally was thinking that I could have a picture of something that represents a subject and then something to like inspire me over here, and then I would have a to-do list of all the things that I needed to do for that subject, which barely ever got used. And then I would have the lecture plan. So for this subject, it only, I think, went up till like there's only 6 lectures, or maybe there were more than that, but I just stopped using this section afterwards. And then like planning for the course, like it basically never got used. And exam plan also never got used because this subject did not have an exam. So I feel like this page in theory was really good for me, but I feel like when I actually went to use it, I basically never used it. Even with like the notebook, like I find that this sort of page works so much better for me than like having this page out in general. So yeah, that's something that I kind of took, and then you'll definitely see that throughout year 2 I started going back to that simpler format again. This, I think, was the one that actually worked the best for me, aside from the fact that it looks very, very messy. I think this format works the best for me. So probably like, I think one way, if this is something that works for you as well, now that I'm looking at it, I can kind of separate it by just adding a space in between. So let's see, I think this is where week 2 would end, and then I could put all the assignments at the top. Something like that, just so it doesn't look as overwhelming as you saw in the beginning, because I opened this and I was like, wow, that looked very, very overwhelming. But I guess when I'm doing it week by week, it doesn't look as bad. But this is something that you can do if this format works for you, or you prefer something a little bit simpler. I just kind of group them into each week. Design might be another one. Yeah, so you can see in this one, I kind of reverted back to the format that I had before. I think this is probably the format that works the best. Yeah, this one and also the one that I just showed you were probably the ones where I actually used it the most. Just because with this one, I think it looks a lot cleaner, more organized, and so it just makes me feel a lot less stressed. Whereas the other one, when I opened it, I was like, oh, that looks quite overwhelming. So I think in terms of actually using it though, this one's probably the one that I actually use it the most. But it does look very overwhelming when you just open it. So I think one of the solutions could be doing something like this. The next page that I have is the subject list page, and this page I just kind of have everything listed out here of everything that I've done so far. So I just found this to be quite helpful when I am thinking about like graduating and also making sure that I have enough credits and everything to graduate. To be honest, I didn't actually make this page for the longest time because I don't really like seeing my grades. Like, I just prefer not to see it because then I don't really think about it. I kind of just have this page in case I need it for something, or because it's kind of annoying to always have to log in to the uni portal, and then I think you have to log in 2 or 3 times, and I just have it here now. So if I ever needed this for something, I could just go into here and I don't have to log in a bunch of times with Okta Verify. I think this is quite a helpful page to have if you want like an overview of your course, or if you're planning out what you want to do. So I actually think this would be a very, very helpful page to have at the very beginning of uni, because I feel like for me, I sort of planned as I went, which in some ways is good, but at the same time, like if I had kind of an overview picture of everything, I would have had space to take subjects that I really, really like. So some of them I took, but in hindsight, I'm like, okay, I would have rather taken a different subject. And also for WAM boosters, like I always did the worst in the WAM boosting subjects for some reason. So I would just say take the subjects that you like and you enjoy, because even if they are a WAM booster, like if you're doing it and you're not really learning anything, or if you are doing it and you're not really enjoying it, then it just doesn't feel the same way anyways. But yeah, so that's my overall page. I actually made this quite recently, so I haven't even gone in a lot. And then this is the last page which I am working on, but it is an advice for myself page, which I saw my friend do and I thought it was such a great idea. So I wanted to build one myself, but basically there's one for when I'm feeling stressed and one for assignments, which I haven't added to quite yet. So I thought I would have that in here for times when I'm feeling really stressed. I can read and just be like, breathe, you know, everything will be okay, everything will work out, it's all good. And then some assignment advice as well for when I'm starting assignments, when I'm feeling stressed about it, and probably at the end as well, like things to check over, because definitely there are some things that I miss at the very end, or I burn myself out, or I stress myself out a lot. So this is really good, and I will update you guys when I have updated those. The next page I have, these 2 pages I've honestly not used a lot. One is just a wish list page. As you can see, like I've not really added to it. And then the other one is a shows or books page, which again, I haven't really added to yet. But I thought it would be good to start a book recommendations page, just because I am not a big reader, but I definitely want to get more into reading. So Atomic Habits is a book that I'm currently reading right now, and then I want to add some more later on so that I can be able to read more, because that was one of my goals of this year, and so far it is not going well. After that, this is probably the page that I go to the most, and it is my study latte page. So I have content planning, dream brands that I want to work with, and then collaborations, which are for brands that or partnerships that I have going on. So for content planning, I kind of just put it all into the calendar, and then I will kind of move it around. So September I have a lot of things, and then I will kind of move it all around. The one with the pencils are like study tip ones, and then the ones with like a camera are like for Instagram or Reels or whatever it is, and then these ones with the little TV are for YouTube. And then over here I just have a list, which I actually realized, because it is kind of in this page, I find that I don't use it a lot, whereas if it's on the dashboard, I tend to click into it more. So I actually think I might move these to this section here so that I can just click into it straight away. But yeah, this is just all my like ideas pages, and then I have the status of whether it's done, it's not started, it's in progress, and then the date that I plan on posting it, and any ideas I have here. Or I kind of write the things in here as well sometimes, not for this one, but sometimes I do. This is a relatively new page that I added. Before I kind of had a different layout, which I just found was really, really overwhelming. I had it, let me see if I can actually, I reckon I still have it. So this was my page before. because there was so much stuff on it, I just got really overwhelmed and I didn't know which one to do. So now I kind of just pick a couple and then I'll add it to the list, and then I will be like filmed, date, not filmed, and work it out like that. I think the same with Instagram as well, because once in a while I ask you guys what content you like to see, and then this is where I add it all in. And then when I make my monthly content plan idea, I will add that to the calendar. Yeah, I have my dream brands list, which is just a list, and then I'm gonna keep that one to myself, but that's just a list of all the brands that I want to work with. And then when I have worked with one of them, I tick it off, and yeah, it just feels really good to kind of look through it, because some of them I just never thought I would ever be able to work with, and it's all because of you guys. So I'm very, very grateful for you guys, and thank you for joining me on this journey. Oh no, I'm getting a little bit emotional. Okay. So the next section that I have is the finance section. And basically I'll just show you a template of what I do, but I used to do this all by hand, but then I realized that that's just, yeah, I have to manually grab out the calculator and calculate everything. So just doing it digitally I think is very helpful with that. So I kind of just have the month of everything that is under here, and then the amount that I spent, and then what it was spent on. So for example, if it was like dining at this restaurant, oh, that's in the income section. This is where the income came from, and then this is the spending type. So I'll have it listed either as fixed income, extra income, or I think I'd call it like return. So if I'm dining out with friends and I pay for the whole thing and then they transfer back, or things like that, I'll have that here. And then in the expense section is where I do the amount that I spent and then what I spent it on. So for example, if I dined out at a certain restaurant, I'll write the restaurant name here. And then the spending type, I kind of split it into a couple different things. So whether that's like grocery, food, which is like dining out, which is usually like with friends and things, whether it was shopping if I had to buy something, and then things like health or sport, I'll have that listed here as well. And then my favorite part of the whole thing is that you can do the calculate thing, and yeah, so it says count all values, so that's how many items there are, different things like that. And I always do sum, so that just adds up everything that is in this column rather than having to go through it and do it manually, which is great. I am a little bit of a technologically challenged person sometimes. Yeah, I think that's all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and coming along with me on my Notion tour. If I update anything, I will let you guys know, but yes, that page with advice for myself should be coming soon, or at least when the semester progresses and I have a lot of assignments I need to do. I'll definitely write down a couple things along the way. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!